FightNgear here. Headed out to the range today. Checking the guns. I've already done it, but I'll do it again. No mags in them. Gonna go out and shoot my 1911s today. The Kimber that I just put the grips on. I just did a review on the J&S gun grips. Jimmy the Grip on eBay. Great grips, love them. I'm dying to know what they're like when I shoot them. And the Springfield Armory. I had a trigger job done on this gun after the last video I shot, and I didn't shoot it very well. A lot of it was the trigger. The trigger was right at 7 pounds, and it had more creep than a Friday the 13th movie. I mean, it was terrible. The guns, the Springfield Armory loaded, Trijicon sights, ambidextrous safeties. I mean, it's a match grade barrel. This gun should be a tack driver, and at 7 yards, it was all over the board. I mean, we're talking coffee saucer type groups, and I mean, it just looked horrible. And so I took this to a local gunsmith. Guy's named Shane Rogers. He's from Nixa, Missouri. I'll try to get some information on him later and put it up on my website at the end of this video. He did a tremendous job. He brought it down to, my scale says 3 pounds and about 13, 14 ounces, roughly 0.7. My scale's is in points instead of ounces, which is, it's not really a trigger scale, but he said that on his it was showing right at 4. 4 is what I asked for. The nice thing is, he took the creep out of it. I mean, I'm going to check it again. Once you get to the take up, which I don't know, I assume he said it because it appears to be less. Once you get the take up out of it, I mean, it just breaks like it's supposed to. I mean, everybody uses the old cliche glass rod, icicle, but anyway, it breaks very, very cleanly. And like I say, somewhere between 3 3/4 pounds and 4. I don't know any gunsmith that hits them right to the milli-ounce, but I mean, there's probably some that do, but nobody that I can afford. He did this for 65 bucks. It's all still the original parts in there. There's a lot of arguments about trigger jobs. Should you do them? Should you not do them? First off, let me say this is not a carry gun for me. I don't anticipate ever being in a situation where I had to use this as a self-defense gun unless some idiot attacked me at the gun range, and that'd be a kind of stupid thing to do. So that's not a big factor for me there. Also, the other thing is I think I could defend myself in court better with having the sear honed without being grossly the trigger lightened, and be able to explain the controllability. Much more likely to hit what I'm aiming at, but I don't know. That's an old debate. I don't know. Masad Ayub knows. I don't know. The bottom line is this is not for me a carry gun anyway. Neither is my Kimber. But I'm anxious to get out there and shoot him today. See how much better control I have with the trigger. Like I say, I've taken it down from a little over 7 pounds to what I think is a little under 4, and removed the creep. Nothing else has been done to the gun. All he did was honing. It's, like I say, it's still factory parts. The Kimber, I suspect it'll be like always. I mean, some days I shoot a couple-inch group at 7 yards. Some day I stack them all in. It's like a McDonald's hamburger with this Kimber. I mean, I always know what to expect. Actually, that's not fair because a McDonald's hamburger sucks, and my Kimber's a great gun. But I meant from the consistency standpoint, I always know what the Kimber's going to do. So anyway, I'm going to get out there and shoot those today, and then I'll be back on after I come back from the range. I made myself a little leather holster today, just playing around. Kydex on the back really kind of helps stay stiffer. I don't sell the leather holsters much anymore. This thing took me 4 hours to make, and I mean, nobody will pay a guy more than 35 or 40 bucks for a leather holster, so I've kind of gotten away from those. But anyway, if you see me out there using it and you say, what in the heck, is he using somebody else's holster? No, it's one I made. It's just not my insider. It's hot today, and I'm going to be carrying big guns, and I'm not going to be in a concealed carry situation, so I actually going to leave my inside the waistband holster here, and just take this one. I don't think it was too bad. I whipped up this design yesterday midday, and made this holster last night, and I'm pretty pleased with it. Anyway, I'll see you after a while. Thanks. Out at the range today. It's a little windy out, but that kind of keeps the temperature down since that old Missouri heat's starting to show up. Just going to do a couple quick follow-ups today. The Springfield Armory, last time I was out here, the trigger on it was actually a little over 7 pounds by my trigger scale, and I didn't shoot it particularly well. I think the gun's capable of a lot more than what I did with it. I like everything about the gun, except I guess the lawyers anymore have just gotten the factory triggers to the point where they're creepy and long and heavy, and I suppose that's all for lawsuits. But anyway, I actually took this to a local gunsmith. I mentioned that earlier. I'll try to get his address and stuff up on at the end of the video. He did a tremendous job. The trigger now, according to my trigger scales, at 3.7 pounds. He said that on his it showed right at 4. I told him I wanted it somewhere between 3.5 and 4. I've never met a gunsmith that could get it down to the, right. I mean, if you say 4, I've never had one come in exactly 4.00 on every scale. But anyway, like I say, and the other thing is he took the creep out of it. So if I shoot it real bad today, it's going to be me, not the gun. That gun is clear. I know I'm supposed to do that, but they've already been cleared. All the magazines are out and on the table. The other one is, I did a review the other day. I got some grips in from a guy called Jimmy the Grip on eBay. I love these things. I'm going to shoot the Kimber with these on it today. I shot it pretty well the other day with the wood grips. I hope that I shoot it the same with these. There is a little difference in the feel, but like I say, that's the only 2 things I'm going to do today is just some quick follow-ups on this 1911. For everybody that's been buying holsters from me, I really appreciate it. I'm starting to get a couple days behind. The holidays here threw me off a little. It's Memorial Day 2012. And so anyway, if you've got a holster on order, instead of 3 days, they're running about 5 days. I still think in the overall scheme of things, that's pretty good. But be sure and check me out. Like I say, I sure appreciate the holster business. I appreciate the support on YouTube. I'm going to get this shut down and get it down at the targets. Thanks. First ones I'm going to shoot here will be with the Springfield Armory with the trigger job. Gun's still clear, but there is a mag in it now. I'll cycle it when I get down here. See how it does now with the new trigger job. Sorry about the wind. It's blowing like crazy today, but that'll give me a good excuse just in case I don't shoot out. There's still a little spread there, as you can see, but quite a few more centered. I'm going to run a few more mags through it. The trigger is considerably better. I had a few flyers there, but like I say, it's first time I've shot it. Wasn't really paying attention to the group as much as I was the trigger. And I'm going to run a few more through there and see what happens. I'll slap a target dot over those and start over again. I think this is going to be a vast improvement. I definitely had one really bad flyer there. I just flat out let it go before I meant to. The group's not bad. It's still not where I think the gun will shoot. I'm still getting a little used to the trigger, but they're starting to tighten up. All these are at 7 yards, and I know I can do better than that. So I'm gonna play with it a little bit, and then I'll turn the camera back on, and we'll see what it does after that. Still the Springfield Armory. Still working on it just a little bit. Well, that's quite an eye-opener there. I never really thought of 1911s as being ammo sensitive. Now, I have, there's a flyer down on the bottom under that dot. That was from earlier. My dot wouldn't cover it. But I switched from PMC bronze to blazer brass. And that tightened that group up unbelievable. I actually earlier just assumed that was me, but there's 14 rounds right there. So like I say, I'm gonna put some bigger target dots on there to kind of cover up all the flyers and run that through again with that blazer brass in it. But it seems that for whatever reason this 1911 likes it much better than it does the other. Still the Springfield, got a new target up there, so I can I have troubles keeping track of the flyers, so we'll see now. I've shot it a little bit more, changed ammo. We'll see what kind of group we're getting now. The trigger's unbelievable. Best 65 bucks I've ever spent as far as changing the way a gun shoots. Always a flyer. Lock back. That's not common with this gun, but anyway, I got a little hurry, got a little full of myself in a couple spots there and pulled a couple off target. But as you can see, I'm getting comfortable with the gun now, the trigger, the new trigger job, and also the change in ammo was huge. I did have one that went off a little prematurely there. I had not got back on target. As you can see, it's way over there to the left. That's why I'm not Hickok 45. That's why I'm not Rob Latham. But anyway, I'm pretty pleased with that. The gun's shooting so much better than it did before the trigger job. I'm going to shut this thing down and switch over to the Kimber and see how the new grips work. I've now went to the Kimber, with the new grips. I've shot this gun quite a bit. Hopefully I won't shoot it bad today. First mag's got 6, the rest of them got 8. That's what ammo I've got left. Hopefully I'll get a good group first time, because that's about all the ammo I got left. That's 8 and 8 and 6, so we got 22 rounds in there. Got a couple a little bit low. I got a little rattled with a failure to feed, and I think that's when one of them went in. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, all in all, the old camera, that wasn't particularly slow. Didn't really take, didn't take a super amount of time. Like I said, that's 22 rounds in there with my new grips, and I just love this gun. I've kind of resurrected it. It's been a safe queen for a while, and I've decided to get it out and start shooting a little bit. Like I said, I got 2 that are a little off there that I suppose are somewhat disappointing, but that wasn't really a slow controlled group. It was just kind of a medium rate of fire, and all in all, I don't think it's too bad. So that pretty much takes care of the 45s for the day. I'm well pleased with the trigger job and the new grips. Got a email comment calling me a 7-yard wizard, and the guy asked me why I never shot at 25. So I scrubbed up another box of ammo. I'm going to run 5 magazines through here at 25 yards and see if I could defend my house with a 1911 if I had to. So I am not typically a 25-yard shooter, so we'll see what happens. How'd it shoot? Did you shoot your rifle yet?
A little bit.
Shoot pretty good?
It's hard. Yeah, it shoots fine. I'm surprised how much the little thing kicks. I think it's...
I decided to see how bad I shoot at 25 yards. Looks like somebody cut loose with a shotgun actually, but there's wow. No wonder I can't hit anything at 25 yards. I can't hold the tripod still. There's 3 8-round mags and 2 7-round mags in there, so but that's not bad. I mean, I think that's plenty capable for self-defense. FightNgear here. As you can see, the 1911's pretty good. Both of them hung up a little bit today. I'm not a super frequent gun cleaner. I'll generally swab the bore. Other than that, I generally will run my guns 3 or 4 times at the range before I clean them. I'd say both of them are telling me they need a little bit of cleaning. I don't do the same thing with my carry guns. I do keep them pretty clean, pretty lubricated. My range guns get a lot of use, although these two, not a bunch, but they, like I say, I just don't try to over clean. I've seen a lot of guys really tear up some guns with over vigorous cleaning, and I think a lot of it's unnecessary. It's my own opinion. Don't hammer me. I'm sure there's guys that you could do surgery on top of their guns and not even find one germ to get in your body, but that's not me. Anyway, like I say, I'll get both those cleaned up. The Springfield Armory, the trigger, just, I mean, it made a world of difference. I was shocked at how ammo sensitive that gun is. Shooting PMC bronze, maybe it's just a bad ammo, but I've shot a lot of it, not really had a problem with other guns with it, but I was getting a, 2-3 inch group at 7 yards, which I guess is not terrible, but it's certainly not great either. Switched to the Blazer brass, and I was literally getting, I had a flyer here and there, but I was getting big, just big one-hole groups, and that's more like what this gun should do. Shane Rogers, I don't know if I've got his, I had a business card. I should have had it out before I started messing around here. Yeah, it's called SR Tactical, Shane Rogers. He's in Nixon, Missouri. I'm going to go ahead and give you his phone number. I don't think he'll care. 417-861-9395. And it's www.srtactical.com. It's SR like Shane Rogers, obviously, tactical.com. And he is Shane0472@gmail.com. The guy did a great job. Gun is clear. He took this trigger down. I told him I wanted it about 4 pounds. I'm not a match shooter, so I don't need 2.5. I'm not a super nitpicker where if I say, 3 pounds, 14 ounces, and it's an ounce off that I get mad. I told him about 4 pounds. According to my little digital scale, which does not read ounces, it's 3.7 pounds. 0.7's probably, I'm going to guess, I don't know, 12 ounces. So 3 pounds, 12 ounces, 13 ounces. On his scale, which is a trigger scale, it showed just literally right under 4 pounds. So I'm going to guess that the trigger's probably a 3 pound, 14, 15 ounce trigger. Worlds of difference. This thing was 7 pounds and just had so much creep in it. I mean, the trigger, when you pulled it, it was like, click. And it was just, it was terrible. You couldn't anticipate it. You couldn't maintain your focus. I mean, you kept thinking that the thing was going to go off and it didn't. And then when you thought it wasn't, it did. And it was a bad trigger. A lawyer's dream. I'm assuming that's why it's like that, but it was terrible. It now has, and obviously, you can't see trigger pull on here, but as I get to the take up now, there's just no creep, and as I gently increase the pressure, I don't know when it's going to go off, and It just breaks very crisp and clean. The guy charged me 65 bucks. I mean, it's a bargain. You know, we're not in a particularly expensive area here, so everything runs a little bit cheap, but the guy did a great job, and he did it at a cheap price, and he was able to do it without, I mean, I gave him, you know, the permission to upsell me if he needed to. I said, if it's got to have a sear, put it in. If it wouldn't, or whatever. I came back. I mean, he didn't have to replace any parts. And it was all honing, and I mean, it's just a tremendous job. So I'm impressed. I'm just giving the guy a little plug. He's a nice guy. I think he's also a deputy sheriff, which means he's underpaid for that job because, I mean, cops don't make near enough money and movie stars make too much. But the you know, I'm sure he would like to have your business, and he said he does do a lot by mail. He can log them in and out and ship them. So if you're looking for a gunsmith for 1911, and I'm sure he does a lot of other stuff, he had a nice shop there, give him a call. Anyway, it just made it a completely different gun. I still probably didn't shoot it as good as the gun will shoot. It was windy today. I was kind of in a hurry. I mean, everybody's got an excuse, but like I say, you saw the groups. They're certainly not bad. It just, I actually can shoot a little better than that. The old Kimber, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I call it my McDonald's burger all the time. The reason I do that's because you just, with a Kimber, you always know what to expect. I mean, they shoot good, they function good, they look good, they cost a lot. But I mean, you know, you always know what you're going to get. I don't think I've ever bought a Kimber or used any of my friends' Kimbers and had any kind of a horrible surprise. Now, you know, that being said, I'm sure somebody's had a dog. Everybody makes one at some point, but I think they're a great gun. The grips from Jimmy the Grip, JS Gun Grips, unbelievable. I mean, literally, you know, when I first started with them, I was thinking, man, those are just almost sharp enough to cut. They smoothed out right away. I probably could have hit them with a little greenie pad or something, but I didn't want to. Anyway, after 100 rounds or so, they're very good now, and they still got a great purchase. Tremendous set of grips, a steal at 55 bucks. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. I appreciate you guys watching me. I appreciate you guys supporting my holster business. If you like me, click like. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. You know, that stuff helps, especially if I ever do decide to start advertising. So anyway, thank you very much.